Good day, everyone. Welcome to Computer Subject. Today, we're going to discuss or summarize the learning packets week 1 and week 2. So, this video will serve as your reviewer for the upcoming quarterly assessment. Okay, so we're going to discuss first the computer language and then after that is the coding. So, the computer language, it is the language we use to communicate with the computer. So we have the machine language, the assembly language, the high-level language, and all of this is computer language. Computer language defined as code or syntax which is used to write programs or any specific application. So basically, the computer language is the symbolic interface between a computer and a human user. So now we're going to differentiate the three types of computer language one by one. So first is the machine language. So the machine language, it refers as the machine code or object code, which is a set of binary digits, 0 and 1. It is considered as a native language as it can be directly understood by a central processing unit or the CPU. So the machine language is the oldest computer language and also considered as the first level of computer language. So basically, it is the language that only understand by the computer with the digits or binary digits 0 and 1. In every program, video, image, and character of the text is represented in the binary digits. Next one, later on we're going to study also how to read binary numbers and how to convert binary numbers to decimal form. Next one, we have here the assembly language. The assembly language, it consists of letters of the alphabet that makes programming much easier than trying to program a series of zeros and one. In assembly language, it is belong to second level of computer language and much easier than trying to program a series of zeros and one, which is the machine code. So machine language and the assembly language is not the same. So in assembly language, we need a translator program, which is assembler. Before the execution of the program, kailangan i-convert muna siya into binary digits. Because tulad nga na sinabi ko kanina, the machine codes or the binary digits is the language that a computer understand or only computer understand. That's why if we're going to use the assembly language, we need that translator program. Before the execution, we need to convert it into machine codes. But it is easier for human kasi mas madali siyang intindihin kaysa sa binary digit na 1 and 0. Okay, next, we have the high-level programming language. In high-level programming language, basically, it is a symbolic language that uses English words in or mathematical symbols rather than mnemonic codes. Also pala, the assembly language, hindi lang siya letters of the alphabets. It is also included mnemonic codes or visual representation that is much easier than zeros and one. Now, mas pina-update pa yung ating language sa high-level programming language. If the assembly languages belong to second generation level computer language, the high-level programming language belongs to the third generation level and up computer language. Kasi mas madali siyang gamitin unlike sa assembly and sa machine language. But just like the assembly language in high-level programming language, we need to use also translator program. It's either compiler or interpreter. So before the execution of the program, kino-convert muna ulit siya into binary digits kasi ang binary digits 0 and 1, yun lang yung naiintindihan ng ating computer. Okay po? So, they're easy to understand and the code can be written easily as the programs written are user-friendly in high-level language. common use high-level language today is the Python, the Java, the C++, the C Sharp, JavaScript, and etc. Marami pa pong high-level languages yung nagagamit ng mga programmer po ngayon. Okay, next one. I'm going to discuss the given figure also. So in the middle part, meron tayo medium or channel, which is the translator program. Like what I've said earlier, the high-level language, one of the requirement is compiler and interpreter. So, ini-interpret muna sila, pinocompile muna sila bago yung execution ng program into binary codes. So, the high-level languages, it is easy for programmer to understand because it contains words from natural languages, just like in the assembly languages, okay? So, the machine code is the computer own language, like what I've said earlier. Machine language is the language that only understand by the computer. So the machine code consists of binary number, which is the ones and zeros. And hindi lang high-level language ang kailangan ng translator program. Even the assembly language, kailangan din yan ng translator program, which is the assembler. Okay, next. What is binary? So the binary is a base 2 number system that's made up of only 2 numbers of digit, which is the zeros and 1. So basically, the 0 and 1 represent the off and on. Pag 0, it means off. Pero pag 1, it means on. So a single binary digit like 0 or 1 is called a bit. Okay, but for example, if we're going, if you have 11010, it is called as 5 bits long. But when you have 8 bits, if we're going to add more 3 digits here, it is equal to 1 byte. For example, we're going to add 1101011, so 8 bits na siya. Ang tawag na po dun is 1 byte. And the word bit is made up from the words binary, digits. So that is the binary. Now we're going to read binary numbers. So how to read binary numbers in computer language? So how to read binary numbers? So reading binary code typically means translating a binary number into base 10 decimal number that people are familiar with. So each digit location in a binary have a specific value if the digit isn't a 0. So once you determine all of the values, you simply add them together to get the base 10 number system or decimal value of the binary number. Okay, so we have here the exponent, the value, and then the on and off. So the following chart illustrates the binary numbers for the 011010000. So 1 byte siya kasi 8 digits po siya. And each column represents the number 2 raised to an exponent with that exponent's value by 1 as you move through each of the 8 positions. So we have here the exponents 2 raised to the power of 0 to 2 raised to the power of 7. So bakit 2? Since ang binary system nga natin ay base 2 system. Okay pa? Yung value, paano siya nakuha? So 2 raised to the 0 equals 1. 2 raised to the 1 is 1. 2 raised to the exponent of 2 is 4. So 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. Then 2 raised to the power of 4, 16. 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16, and so on. So as you can see here, 2 raised to the 0 is 1. Take note of this, that any number raised to the 0 is equals to 1. Even if it is 5 raised to the 0, 1 pa din siya. 6 raised to the 0, 1 pa din siya. 8 raised to the 0, 1 pa din siya. Pero hindi naman tayo magkakaroon dito ng exponent ng bukod sa 2. Kasi 2 lang talaga yung exponent natin. 2 lang yung gagamitin natin dito. 2 raised to an exponent. Kasi nga, ang kukunin po natin ay base 10 And ang kailangan lang natin dito sa exponent is base 2. Okay? And then, yung on and off, ito na po yung binary numbers. Okay, so we're going to convert the binary numbers 01101000 into decimal form. Now, to get the total of this example, we're going to read the chart from right to left. So, right to left, okay? And then we're going to add each column's value to the previous column. So as you can see, we're going to add the 64 plus 32 plus 8. And 64 plus 32 plus 8, we're going to have the sum of 104. So 104 is the decimal number or decimal equivalent of the binary numbers 01101000. Again, 104 is the answer. Okay, we're going to annotate. Mag-draw si ma'am. 104 is the answer. As you can see, we do not count the bits with a 0 because they are turned off. Again, the 0 transistor, hindi po natin siya isasama sa i-add. Ang i-add lang po natin is yung mga naka-on transistor which is yung ones. So basically, ang in-add lang po natin dito is the 64, the 32, and then 8. And the rest, hindi natin siya in-add. And the sum of it is 104. Okay po? Next. So another way to see the entire process in equation form is like this. So step-by-step solution, you're going to write down the binary numbers, then you're going to multiply each digit of the binary numbers by the corresponding power of 2. Then you're going to solve the powers and same pa din yung kanyang sagot, which is the 104. Next one. So let's see if alam niyo na po kung paano siya i-convert sa binary numbers into decimal. So, by showing your complete solution, ilalagay na lang natin siya dito sa ating given exponent value and then on end. For example, we're going to find the binary numbers. We're going to find the decimal sa following binary numbers na nakalagay po dito sa screen natin. We're going to show like this po. For example, for number 1, we have 1 0 1 0 1 0 and then 1 1. Again, we're going to add only the on transistor. So we're going to add the 128. We're going to add the 32. We're going to add the 8 and we're going to add the 2. And we're going to add the number 1. Okay, so let's try to solve this one. 128 plus 32 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1. So the answer is 171. Okay, for number 2, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. So lahat po sila ay 1 transistor. So we're going to add all of this. So 121 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. So the answer is 255. So 2 5 5. Next. One, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. So we're going to add the on transistor. 128, 64, 16, 4, and then 1. 28 plus 64 plus 16 plus 4 plus 1. So the answer is 138, 64, 16 plus 4 plus 1. The answer is 213. Okay. Ay, 213, 213. 2, 213. Okay, kayo na po yung magsagot sa 4 and number 5. Next, we're going to discuss the coding. So what is coding? So basically, the coding, it is the computer language we use to develop the apps, website, and the software. So the code is what we tell to our computer to what we do. So the coding, basically, yun yung linalagay natin sa source editor natin or sa source code editor po natin. And we have different types of codings. We have the programming language, the scripting language, and the markup language. So the programming language, these are high-level language that needs to be converted into machine-level language because computer can only understand binary language. So, like what I've said earlier in computer language, pag high-level languages, kailangan meron siyang translator program. In programming languages, it's either compiled or interpreted. So, kailangan natin ng compiler or interpreter to convert it into machine codes. Programming language, may mga examples po tayo in terms of programming. So we have Java, the C, the C++, and the C Sharp, and etc. Next, we have the scripting language. So basically, the scripting language is a language that is meant to be interpreted rather than compiled. So script language is a subcategory of the programming language which is used to give guidance or to control another program. So it also involves instruction. Programming language, para siya yung pinakananay. While the scripting language, ito yung anak ni programming language. Sa programming language, it is kino-compile, okay? Pero scripting language, it is meant to be interpreted rather than compiled. So sa scripting language, madalas ang ginagamit is si interpreter. Sa programming language, madalas ang ginagamit ay si compiler. Programming language and scripting language is both belongs to high-level languages. Bakit belong sila sa high-level languages? Because they are both needed to converted. Okay po. Next, we have the markup language. So the markup language is used to control the presentation of data, like representing structured data. The markup language, these are presentational languages and it doesn't include any kind of logic or algorithm. So basically, it's used to describe in the data and formatting the text or the text in a textual format. The examples for the markup language, the HTML, the CSS, and the XML, and etc. Next, we're going to differentiate the programming languages, the scripting languages, and markup languages based on the given examples. So the programming languages, we have here the C, the C++, the C Sharp, and the Java. For the scripting languages, we have the JavaScript, PHP, Perl, Visual Basic Script, and the markup languages, we have the HTML, the CSS, and the XML. So for the conclusion, we can say that the scripting languages are programming languages because scripting languages is a subcategory of the programming languages. So meaning to say the JavaScript can be a scripting languages or can be also referred as programming languages, but the C cannot be referred as scripting languages because the C is just programming languages. Also, there is no need to compile the scripting languages because scripting languages is interpreted rather than compiled. Um, the programming languages, kailangan dito is compiler rather than interpreter. Okay. So on the other hand, the markup languages are just used to define the structure of data which doesn't require any logic or algorithm. And also we can use this markup languages to integrate with other programming languages. Okay, that's all.